Beloved viewers, I am flabbergasted that I did not know that Tubi, a site with many excellent sapphic films, is in fact free. How did I not know this? So let me share with you a number of films I'd wanted to but never seen before, as well as a few films that are available on Tubi that I have previously mentioned on other list videos. Quick note, Tubi is available in the States, Canada, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Australia and New Zealand, although each region has a different selection of films. However, that matters not. I have a link in the description if you want one and fancy supporting my channel. Les en Septiembre, or Les in September, is a Venezuelan film from 2014 that apparently has the distinction of being the first Spanish-language lesbian film, according to Wikipedia at least. If anyone can confirm that, let me know in the comments. Eva, fresh off the death of her child and the potential cheating of her husband, is trying to get a break from her life when her car breaks down in a small town. She's directed to the mechanic, a woman named Margot, who is busy throwing a party for a woman named Liz. Unbeknownst to her, Eva has walked into a gaggle of lesbians and, well, you can guess what happens. Liz, being a bit of a rogue, makes a bet she can get Eva into her bed and in the process develops actual feelings for her, and Eva discovers that she's not quite as straight as she thought she was. I do have to give a warning about the ending because it involves a death, but not one that is violent or directly linked to being queer, and that aside, there is a beauty to the film which means I do recommend it overall. A film that doesn't require any content warning is Princess Sid, which follows 16-year-old Sid as she spends the summer with her estranged aunt Miranda in Chicago. It spends time developing this aunt-niece relationship, which is actually very lovely, and when I think about it, quite unusual. I can't think of many films that do that. Their relationship, which at first is somewhat tension-filled, grows especially as Sid begins to explore her sexuality when she meets Katie, a barista at the local coffee shop. So, you know, literally a coffee shop AU kind of deal. We get to follow her as she discovers a first love, couched in the comforting and more liberal environment than Sid grew up in. It's good feelings all around for this one. Another classic film that has that comforting, feel-good vibe is Go Fish, which I mentioned in my History of Sapphic Film and TV Part 2. This is often referenced as one of the first films to explore lesbian culture during the boom of independent queer cinema of the early 90s. With its black and white film look and its tiny 15k budget, it's on the indie art house side, but it takes what it has and uses it amazingly well to tell a charming story not just of love, but of queer friendship. Max's friends scheme to push her and another lesbian in their circle, Eli, together because Max has been on a bit of a dry spell. While Max initially dismisses Eli as a potential love interest, she agrees to go on a date and finds in fact that she likes her more than she thought she did. There are some complications though because Eli is in a long-distance relationship that is on the rocks. This film is all about the vibes and has some great standout moments such as the discussion of using the term honeypot. And I will tell you this, I never knew that cutting fingernails could be such excellent foreplay. Another film that is all about the vibes is the Japanese film West Northwest. From what I understand of the language used in Japanese film, it works something like a painting. It's not just about the action, it's also about the blank spaces left by the non-action. It's about creating a certain pace through long, quiet shots. This translates into a lyrical, moody film with strong symbolism to communicate its message. It follows Naima, an Iranian foreign student studying Japanese art at a university, who meets Kai, who works at a cocktail bar. There is an immediate drawing together of the two women, but it's unspoken, causing confusion for Naima as she struggles to understand what this friendship actually is, and for Kai, whose girlfriend, Ai, becomes increasingly jealous of their new relationship. What fascinated me about the film was seeing Sahel Rosa, the actress who played Naima, with her, for lack of a better way to put it, Japanese mannerisms. I found her quite compelling, and I was curious about how she came to be not just in Japan and speaking it so well, but having a role that was expressly written for her. I looked her up and then discovered she has the most incredible story that saw her lose her family as a child during a bombing during the Iraqi-Iranian conflict of the 80s. She then got adopted by the woman who found her in the rubble, which resulted in her adoptive mother getting disowned, and they ended up in Japan under very difficult circumstances. Anyway, that's just a tangent. If you're looking for something a little different, go check this film out. Moving on to a South Korean film, Moonlit Winter is a quieter and more restrained story that centers around the relationship between teen Se-bum and her mother Yoon-hee. Yoonhee is a mystery to Sae-boom, always so quiet and emotionally removed, but that changes when Sae-boom accidentally reads a letter that her mother had received from her first love, a woman. Through this letter, she begins to understand who her mother is. She suggests they take a holiday to the village in Japan where this first love lives, and through this journey, the distance between them begins to be bridged. It is a beautifully made film. The wintry environment is well used to express the themes, and it's incredibly heartwarming seeing Sae-boom's love for her mother expressed through her desire to support who her mother is. Reaching for the Moon is a film that has long been on my list to watch. It's based on the real-life Pulitzer Prize winner Elizabeth Bishop and her love affair with Brazilian architect Lota de Machado Soares in the 1950s. Elizabeth, feeling stuck and uninspired with her writing, decides to go on a trip, which finds her visiting her friends Mary and her partner Lotta in Rio, Brazil. While things between Elizabeth and Lotta start off rocky, Elizabeth is a singular character, a passionate love affair quickly develops, one that directly influences both their works in profound ways. This love affair helps Elizabeth's writing, surrounded by gorgeous Brazilian mountains, and leads to her Pulitzer Prize-winning volume of poems called North and South, A Cold Spring in 1955. It follows their affair through the years, through alcoholism and mental issues to its end, and yes, by end I do mean death. FYI, you are warned. It is, however, still a movie that is well worth a watch. Last on this list is Life Partners, a different kind of film from the last few on this list. It's a buddy comedy film that focuses on the close friendship between Paige and Sasha and how they navigate the introduction of a love interest into their close dynamic. With Paige now in a relationship with Tim, Sasha, who has nothing but a string of bad dates with women, is struggling to deal with her best friend not being available in the same way that she'd been before, and as a consequence has to examine what she's doing with her life. It's definitely more in the zone of Booksmart than a rom-com, and it centers friendship at the heart of the story. It looks at revisiting dreams of youth and basically growing up. It's an enjoyable film that has been mentioned in my comment section a few times on other videos. Now, before you go, let me mention other films on Tubi Canada and possibly other regions that you can watch for free that I have covered in my other videos. Kismig, But I'm a Cheerleader, Loving Annabelle, I Can't Think Straight, Blue is the Warmest Colour, Boy Meets Girl, The Secrets, The Truth About Jane, Heartland, The Miseducation of Cameron Post, and Almost Adults. Not a bad selection, right? Have fun watching them and let me know which ones you enjoyed. Check out my other videos, and until next time, lady lovers.